Hey there, everybody! Seth here with the Merry Arakune Christmas because it is time for the Super Boss Crimson Calamity mod showcase and release! I say Merry Christmas, but this will probably be uploaded either a little before or a little after Christmas. But we made the December release. I am happy to say that Roy here is finally done. God, I actually want to say Arakune because I recently watched the Help Me Professor Kokonoe bit from Continuum Shift in the dub, and yeah, in any case, he is here now. He is ready to go out into the world and terrorize all of you for himself now. And as I did a short little voting session on how the showcase video would go here, the majority of you have voted for the longer, more traditional format, to my shocking surprise. I issue a formal apology to everyone who wanted the shorter format like Celica's, but oh, what can you do? I want to give you all, I want to please the most people here, so here we are. That said, because you all voted for the longer one of your own free wills, my watch time for this video better be way up. Don't worry, I'm joking. I haven't checked that in forever anyways. I wouldn't know if it was higher or lower than usual. But in any case, if the previous showcase monthly progress updates have been any indicator, this is going to be a really fucking long one, so we should probably just jump into this as soon as possible. The last thing I will say is that if you do happen to be new here, that I will be putting up a vote on who the next Super Boss mod will be when I hit 500 subscribers. I'm trying to hit 500 before the end of the year, so if you could sub and help me out there, like, comment on the video, so I'd actually show up in the searches, that'd be really, really sweet of you. Just saying. Okay, the typical YouTuber shilling aside that I don't usually do and hate doing usually, but alright, let's get down to business here. So, our main man, Roy, Lot Carmine, Arakune, Arakune, where the fuck you want to call him, he is a force to be fucking reckoned with, and I just realized because he doesn't have his little, the curse bar there is going to be really inconvenient for this compared to the monthly progress updates, because I don't have the passive curse gain disabled anymore. We're going to get harassed by curse bugs a lot. Okay, that was the last tangent, for real now. So, for starters, of the super bosses, he has pretty low health. He only has 18,500. Yeah, only 18,500. That's still a little more than a typical unlimited Tager, but by super boss standards, it's lower than average, lower than most, because, well, he's frail. All I do is add 8,000 to base health pools, so that's what we got there. Obviously, the effects of his old Overdrive are always permanently active, so he has slower curse depletion, all the other good stuff. As you can probably already tell, I changed his idle animation because I felt like it. I like to think that he's rocking out to the background music. You got Weak Executioner in the background this time around. Look at him go. See, he's getting really into it. He's having fun. He's having a fun time, of which his opponent will not be having a fun time. Fighting against him, probably. His forward dash, of course, like his unlimited, is the swim animation now. And doesn't work behind the opponent. You can hold it and use it as a run. Pretty standard, taking his limit. But, in case you really like his old teleport dash, and that is fine, because I have re-added it as a special move with the input of 2-2A. And this is now actually invincible partway through until he reappears. Not quite frame 1 invincibility, but it's invincible as he's disappeared, more or less. So it's not a reversal, but it can be much better used as a get-out-of-jail-free card tool. As for backdash, the backdash and command forward teleport dash, this and his backdash, are both jump cancelable, like Unlimited Azrael's forward and backward ground dashes are. Like so. It looks really fucking weird because of how this move actually functions, but you can actually like jump cancel before he's even like fully done teleporting. That's so weird. He has a 50% movement speed increase on the ground, which includes his walk and ground run speed. Although actually for his unlimited run/swim dash here, it uses the amount of speed at the highest point of his 2C attack here, so the highest speed value that uses at the very start of the move, I believe, is the one that he passively uses for his run animation here. Bug Blob here has 4 jumps and 3 air dashes, so he has even more annoying air mobility with his floatiness to air stall the fuck out of you and just spam bugs from 50 miles in the air. It's a very fun time for everyone. His super jump height has been increased by 50%, so he can go to the moon there. This is somewhat reminiscent of his unlimited super jump in Chrono Phantasma. For some reason, he jumps really high in that game when he super jumps for his unlimited boss. As with all Super Boss mods, his overdrive timer has been drastically increased to be 13 seconds at full health and a full grand 22 at low health. Good to see that infinite overdrive is indeed disabled. That would have been a little bit of a block there. Let me see. I added a neat little crimson after image to him to give him a little, not quite an aura, but just a little, just to spice him up just a little bit. It's kind of fancy. Alright, onto the real meat of the changes here. As I've already, pointed out, and you probably noticed at the very start of this video, his curse gauge fills up over time. This means there is absolutely no escape, theoretically, from having to deal with curse at least once during the match. It fills at a pretty fair rate. It takes about, I think, 15 seconds maybe to fill the full. I think I have it written down here. Not quite. It takes a little while to fill up, but it will fill up eventually, even if it's clobbering the shit out of him. And, the one caveat, however, is that even if it's full, as you can see, it doesn't automatically activate. To activate the curse, he still needs to make contact with you. Whether he hits a move, or if you block a move, that will trigger curse. And then it will activate as normal. So he still has to make contact at some point, but having to fill it with a drive move, no longer a concern of his. It'll get to full on, and eventually when he randomly mashes 2A on his getup and you have to block it or get clipped by it, he gets a free curse and can start fucking turning the tides of battle on you really swiftly. Oh, and speaking of other ways to gain curse, his burst will instantly curse you on contact. And just for insult to injury, this includes if the burst is blocked as well, which I don't really have a good reliable way to show off here, but yes, even if he bursts and it so much as makes contact with you, he gets a free curse and can start making a comeback then and there with ease. This means that his defensive options have become much, much, much more dangerous overall. Because stray guard cancels with full curse meter, bursts, anything like that can instantly cause a curse and immediately swing the offensive momentum into his favor. Yes, it's disgusting. What's also disgusting is the fact that I have buffed his throw range by a very slight amount, but it now actually has the same normal throw range as Tager, which is very hard to notice the difference of, just the throw range is bigger, though. If you, I imagine if you were to put him next to a unmodified Arakune, that it would actually be a little better at grabbing. And keeping in front of me wanting to make crush triggers randomly useful, although, Arakune's crush trigger here is a lot better than everyone else's in most cases. I have buffed it anyways. Crush trigger, as per usual, is always treated as fully charged, and max charging it, however, will release it immediately when it becomes unblockable and gives instant curse on hit. Not that it matters too much in most cases because the startup for a fully charged crush trigger is pretty slow, so like a 60 frame or so unblockable that curses is really not too that great when you're not cursed already and don't have anything that can block with it, but who knows, you'll probably clip somebody with this at some point or another. It's a neat little novelty. Now then, onto his normal changes. Starting off with 5A, which has been buffed to have new cancel options into 4B, all C normals, 60, and 2D. 2A now has also all of the same cancel options as his 5A does. So these are basically more or less the same. 2A has all the cancel options 5A does, and 5A has a bunch of extra ones that 2A also gets at the same time, so... 5B has more hits done and can deal 2 additional hits, along with being jump cancelable on block. Will jump to the recovery state after hitting its hit cap instead of continuing to whiff, giving it better frame advantage as well, because typically when this reaches the hit cap, it has about like 7 active hitboxes, But when it, even if it reaches the hit cap of, like, its initial 3 really early on, you still have to whiff the other frames before Arakune can actually, like, recover from it. So, he doesn't do that anymore. He'll now jump to instantly to his recovery state once it hits the hit cap of the stack. The air and technical time of 5B has also been increased, and has a slightly bigger whiff cancel window to go back into 5A with. Also, it can cancel into 6B now. 5C is considerably faster and has frame mode head invincibility, making this an extremely obnoxious anti-air, especially on Wake Up, apparently, because the AI likes to anti-air my bullet 60 Aoki attempts all the fucking time with this fucking thing. The Duration 1 has been raised to 90 from 80, making a better starter for his anti-air. The increased air technical time by 50%, and this now fatal counters his insult to injury. And can now cancel into any other C or D moves, which means this is doable, along with this also being doable. 5D has obtained a attack level buff to be attack level 5, and the garbage duration 2 value on this move has been removed, making it scale a lot better as a whole. This is now also a fatal counter and has reduced recovery with more wall stick time in the corner. 2A is now 6 frame startup like most of the other characters instead of 10. Yes, Arakune normally has a slower than average 10 frame 2A, but that's now been cut down to be 6 frames like basically everyone else's, making this more obnoxious of a mathing tool. 2B has its attack level raised to 4 and can go into 4B or 6B on hits. Like so. Has 120 bonus duration and a lot more air and technical time because the hitbox of this move is fucking garbage and I never actually fathomed what Arakune players would ever use this for, so I decided to make it really good with the 120 bonus duration to give you incentive to make it into your combos to get that extra damage from it. 2C! This move has a shit ton of changes done to it. 2C goes 50% farther forward, and all these hits are considered lows. Can cancel into 6D and 214C on block as well as on hit, and gains cancel options into 6C, 5D, 2D, and 214A/B on hit or block as well. So that's a combo now. And every cancel option this move has can be done on any of the hits, whether it be the first hit, or right in the middle. Or even right at the very end, of course, like you probably prefer. The final hit of 2C will wall stick in the corner, and the blowback is adjusted so it can cleanly go into 6C mid-screen. Like so. And in the corner, like his Chrono Phantasma Unlimited, it will wall stick. And like his Continuum Shift Unlimited, this is also jump cancelable on any hit. His 3C is now capable of tracking the opponent to full screen distance, like so. And it's a little bit faster on top of that, they'll catch those pesky little zoners trying to camp away from you when you are the camping master of this game now. The recovery on hit is also drastically reduced on this move, giving you increased knockdown time as well to allow more follow-ups without needing to use Crush Trigger to follow up usually. Typically have to do that, but now instead, you can launch with 2B for a combo and get that aforementioned extra 120 bonus duration. Along with other options. As well, 3C now has an additional new variant in 1C, and rather than attacking from the front, 1C will attack and hit the opponent from behind, with all of the same cancel options as 3C. It's onward to 6A, which is now a little bit faster, and has more new cancel options into 5B, 2C, 3C, 1C, and 6C. I gotta say, his normals are actually really restrictive for how, like, what they can chain into. That's basically a lot of what these changes have been so far, I just noticed. Just giving him the ability to go into more shit from his rather limited routes off of everything else. 6B, on the other hand, has Duration 1 raised to 90 from 70. The ground slide time has been raised by 50%. And this also cancels now into any C normal or jump cancelable on block. This will now also guard point head attacks and the blow during the armor frames on it, and the blowback has been adjusted slightly so you can connect into 2C and more mid-screen. Like so. The only thing I did to 4B was to change it so it can cancel into 5B or any C normal. Simple as that. Which, speaking of, 5B, 4B, 5C is a valid combo route. 6C, on the other hand, similarly to 2C, got the shit buffed out of it. 6C is now 120 Paration 1, 100 Paration 2, and Fatal Counters, making it probably his most godly starter available. The air and technical time has also been increased considerably, and the block stun has also been raised to make the safer on block. Although I don't believe it shouldn't be unpunishable, but it should basically be safe. Yeah, you are safe after blocking 6C. The invincibility on the startup, additionally, now includes body and throw attacks, meaning that trying to mash out of this is going to possibly be a very difficult time. 6CC has untakeable time raised a little bit, and the Paration 2 has been set to 95 from 84, making this little combo filler here scale a lot better as well. 6CCC, the final hit of the chain, hits overhead, does much more damage, knocks down on any hit, and has 110 bonus Paration. The hit stop is also increased to kind of give it more oomph when you land it. The Paration 2 has been raised to 95 from 84, and it is now Distortion cancelable, making it also your premier combo ender to go into a super. And now, onto the other drive moves. All drive attacks, of course, like his limited, 5D, 2D, 6D, and JD, will now fill the curse gauge by 50% on block and fill it to full if any of them actually land. Though it's not matter if an attack like 2D is blocked twice, because that results in a curse anyways, due to the multiple hits. 6D has its attack level raised to 5, and now spawns 3 bugs! Like so. And can now cancel into 5D or 2D on the headbutt hit. Like so. That's typically only going to help you in the corner. Like so, or... that works too. The bugs that will call down from the sky hit overhead, like they used to in previous games, and knock the opponent down faster with added ground untechable time. On top of this, they have also been given some chip damage to help shred barrier, like they supposedly did back in Calamity Trigger. 2D, in a very similar vein, also fires off 3 projectiles now. Like so. From 1D, 2D, and 3D, all simultaneously. These bugs will now hit low, and this attack has much faster startup in general. And also can cancel into 5D or 6D, although it's a little... this one's a little jank, I found. Let's see... Additionally, the 2D bugs will knock down now, rather than just harmfully poking you and knocking you back a little bit, making this move very useless. This is now a legitimate threat, sort of, because the knockdowns can set up for more pressure if needed, or for extra combo continuation. Like so. JB now has 3 times the amount of hits, and all of these hits are indeed overheads. The Paration 1 has been raised to 85 from 80 with more air and technical time. Now, we'll also actually carry the opponent up a little bit with Arakune as he flies up, which ensures that more of the hits are going to connect as he ascends, and also giving him a little bit of a ladder combo here. Shit, that was right. There we go. However, the new trajectory does not interfere with landing JC afterwards. It's still very much going to JC off that still. JB is now also jump cancelable and can go into his J6X and J2X normals. Holding back while doing the attack will actually cause Arakune to fast fall at a very high rate without needing to air dash first. Normally to do this you have to air dash and then you hold backwards as you are using JB and you will fall to the ground like that. But now, you can just do it from a neutral jump as well without needing to air dash. JC is now attack level 4 from 3 and has 90 Paration 1 from 80. This will always knock down / ground bounce like on counter hit and doesn't push him up when used right after a jump, so it can use his instant overhead again and mix-ups. Also, it's jump cancelable, but I don't see why you'd actually need to do that. But I guess maybe on block it can help you, like, get the safety or something. His J6X normals, J6A, B, and C, are all overheads now and can cancel into ones higher up in the chain, which means 6A, 6B, and 6C. That is now a possible string in the air. Air and technical time on all of them has been raised by 50%, and they have less vertical pushback to make the aforementioned chain easier. J6B is now at light attack level 4, and J6C is attack level 5 when they were both formerly attack level 3. The J2X normals, the dives, these are all attack level 5, have 90 duration 1 from 80, and their air attack level time is increased by 50%. The hit cancels can now all be done on block as well, so even if they block the dives, it can change to other dives. And all versions will deal 50% more damage from double jump height or higher. As you can see there, that one did 1350, when normally you would get 900. The B version can go into stage which, the B version can now also go into J2 and 4C like the other two, because for some reason it couldn't. I don't know why that was the case, but there we go. Each version now also has its own 110 bonus inspiration, which means stacking up all 3 dives in a single combo will net you a grand total of 130. His JD will now track the opponent no matter where they are on the ground, like so. And it is now a low and has much more air and technical time as well. Also lets you do stuff like that, which I find really cool. The little bounce behind and then... I would also like to note that similar to all of his actual curse bugs, the 6D, 2D, and JD bugs all now have newly added 110 bonus inspiration. Because yes, in case you didn't know, every one of Arakune's curse bugs normally has 110 bonus inspiration to upscale combo damage. Speaking of curse bugs, we get to talk about those now. When the opponent is cursed, as you are probably familiar with his unlimited form, they will now summon 3 bugs. Super Boss Arakune here is no exception to this rule, and all of his curse bugs will be spawned in trios of 3. In addition, all the bugs retain their base default damage values, noted in case that the unlimited forms in games reduce them to bounce out the triple spawns and or multiple hits. But no! In case that was the case, it's not the case anymore. It is now base damage, which means overall a lot higher. In addition to this, all of the bugs now have their attack level raised from 3 to 4, and have drastically improved duration values to aid even more in the great scaling of them, with a plus 10 to their duration 1 values and a plus 5 to their duration 2s. As for the bug spawns themselves, the A-bug now has a stronger vacuum effect on hit, pulling them more towards Arakune on hits. And will now send out 3 at once in a spread, rather than one after another like in CS and CP. This is actually what Baroque did with his unlimited Arakune, and I actually was going for the one at a time thing like in the old games, but I couldn't get it to work properly for some bizarre reason. You would think that wouldn't be the case for how simple it sounds, and it is simple, but it just wasn't cooperating, so... This is a little more jank anyway. As much as I hate to, like, rip off of him in any extent, I decided to just have the 3 spread here be the standard. The B-Bug spawn is a lot faster like it was back in Community Shift. That's it. In a similar vein, the C-Bug is faster like it was in Calamity Trigger, because back in Calamity Trigger, Arakune's C-Bug was freakishly fast for no reason whatsoever. As well, holding 4 or 6 and or forward or back will actually cause the bugs to appear in a different formation. If you hold back, the bug on the far left will jump first, followed by the other 2. If you hold forward, the bug in the back will jump first, followed by the other 2 in succession. Just like his current Phantasma Unlimited. And the D-Bug wraps up falling hits a lot faster, allowing it to do much more damage. Okay, thank fuck, that is all for the normal changes. Good god, this man has so many of them for no reason. That's actually part of the reason it took so long to make him. I was trying to wonder what the fuck I was supposed to do with all of these. But okay. On to the slightly more interesting stuff in his specials. For starters, Zero Vector. Of course, the most optimal thing to do with this move is to make it spit out all 3 Curse Clouds at once. And of course, like the unlimited version, the Curse Clouds will fill the Curse gauge on hit to full. on contact. This, I'm not gonna lie, is basically a guaranteed curse in most cases, because with how much the clouds cover having all three at once, between the jumping one here and the homing one, basically just setting this up after a knockdown is actually probably a lot more of a foolproof way to get cursed than trying to actually incorporate a D-move into your combo in some cases. Like, it's for free right there. Oh, that's icky. I didn't actually realize you could do that. Just 3C or 1C into fucking Zero Vector and then just shit on them afterwards. Oh, that's fucking gross. What is even more disgusting is, of course, A plus minus B, which is, of course, similar to its Chrono Phantasma Unlimited version, much bigger and sticks to the opponent along with after being stuck to them, along with slowing them like it normally does, makes all drive bugs completely and utterly unblockable, because for some reason Arc System Works decided that making a slowing cloud that makes the bug spam unblockable on his Unlimited was necessary, and because I am not allowed to nerf anything that the Unlimiteds have, I was forced to allow him to keep this. And just to note that the unblockable effect also applies to his F equals distortion as well. The 236 236D centipede, but we'll get more into that later. I will say this did have to this did used to have a duration buff I applied to it, but that has been removed because about 8 seconds of unblockable bugs is more than enough time. Permutation NR no longer has A or B versions and just has a singular 2-2C version that produces 3 spiders that track to the opponent's location. The ground version and the air version will now spawn at the same, slightly faster speed of the air version. The attack level on the spiders has been raised from 3 to 4, the Operation 1 increased to 95 to make them better combo starters. The spiders will now also inflict hard knockdown and poison on hit with increased air attack time. The poison, of course, being good for racking up that extra damage off of stray hits, potentially. If P then Q teleports besides 214C here, all have faster recovery, and a myriad of other changes specific to the certain versions. For starters, 214A, both the air and ground versions have faster startup and can now cross up cornered opponents for free. The ground version also has added low invincibility, so mashing 2A on him here, he'll just jump over it and then cross you up anyways, and then probably beat the shit out of you for it. 2 and 4B, the invincibility and the teleport occur much earlier into the move, though not on frame 1. And the movement speed has been increased to compensate for the earlier teleport, so that he moves the same distance forward that he would normally do without the... It also kind of mimics his faster forward walk speed that I gave him as well. Invincibility on the air version of this move occurs sooner, and the startup matches a real JD instead of being a lot longer. Meaning he teleports to the ground sooner. 2 and 4C, the invincibility occurs earlier into the move, and this applies to both versions. Simple as that. Negating P, the web ball attack from the teleport, will inflict curse, like drive attacks, full on hit and half on block. This now also has massively increased unattackable time after the ball hit drops, dropping the opponent down for more punishment. And also, this move has 110 bonus duration. Y2- is usable on the ground now as 236C like his Chrono Phantasma Unlimited, and deals up to 3 extra hits. The first hit deals high damage and is attackable 5, just like the grounded version, and the weaker hit base damage has been up to 400 from 200, and the attack as a whole has more air attackable time. Also travels way farther forward with increased upward knockback and 95 P2 from 89. And now gains an initial cancel option into J236-236C on hit. Like so. Grounded Y2- rushes toward the opponent and bounces off on contact. Unlike in Chrono Phantasma, however, on hit it will bounce the opponent backwards with him, while on block it will still bounce him backwards off to safety. but on hit, he will vacuum the opponent into himself to connect the full amount of hits possible. The speed at which he charges at the opponent as well has been increased by 50%, so he crosses the screen a lot faster, I guess. Making it a pretty good Hail Mary option to secure a hit out of nowhere. Ah, yes! Wall Teleport! How could I forget about this devious little tool here? Wall Teleport is now a lot faster and is frame 1 invincible. I needn't really say much more. Alright, we are on to Distortions now, which means we are luckily almost done because, good god, my throat hurts from talking so much. Alright. For starters, F-Inverse. Giant Laser Beam Super. This will now deal 100 hits like the Unlimited version, or the older Unlimited version, I should say. They kind of took it out of Chrono Phantasma. Back in Calamity Trigger and Continuous Shift, for Unlimited Arakune, this did 100 hits, or at least the beam did 100 hits. In addition to that, it is now completely air unblockable and can cancel into itself after the last hit for additional devastation. And a lot of hits. But that's not all, for the beam damage has been raised by 50%, and the duration 1 on the physical hit on Arakune himself has been raised to 90 from 80, along with the entire attack's minimum damage being raised to 20% from about 10%. FFG, or Bees, is the Calamity Trigger Unlimited version, with around 28 hits for around 4,500 damage raw, in most cases. Is now an unblockable low like it used to be that must be jumped over, and the startup as well is noticeably faster, although it is still slow enough to where you can actually jump or backdash. Okay, if you're not fat like Rachel, you can backdash out of it on reaction, but because she's fucking Garbaggio, she's gonna get by anyways, because she sucks. The untechnical time has also been increased, and the bugs will now lift the opponent much higher, allowing for potentially easier and better conversions off of it. F equals, or as I call it, Centipede, has its duration 1 raised to 90, and the Centipede on all hits has 10% minimum damage and can heal chip on block now. And seeing as it has no hit cap, it is actually quite easy and potent to run with the Centipede to drag hits across the opponent from full screen there. Holy shit, 32 hits for 4,000 damage. That was just the Centipede. I didn't even hit her myself for that. This move used to have an extra buff on it as well, that while the Centipede was active, the Curse Gauge would drain at half the rate, but that was, similar to the extended Green Cloud. That was a little too fucking stupid, so it was promptly, removed after test fighting against him. And next up, actually, is his Astral. His Astral has been given faster startup and increased super flash duration to make it much easier to combo into. Also, as well, the command has been changed to 222D to very much simplify it. Speaking of Astrals, some of you are familiar with the fact that his Astral actually changed, starting with Chrono Phantasma, into what we see today. His original Astral in Continuum Shift and Calamity Trigger was much different, and that said, I have brought it back from the dead. This Astral is, as you probably may be aware, unblockable and has several different patterns that he will cycle through in an attempt to hit the opponent. Well, Crimson Calamity Arakune doesn't cycle through one pattern, he will cycle through all 4 of them before finishing off. Meaning you have to dodge 4 different kinds of unpredictable movement that can chain off of each other and affect their trajectories as a result. Needless to say, this is very, very terrifying, and trying to dodge 4 cycles worth of an unblockable orb hurtling towards you in random ways, as well as just being very fucking huge and hard to jump over. I guess Sandbag Rachel here only has 1 jump, though, so that's once again her fault for being bad. But, yeah, easily can just start a pseudo-horror movie scenario where you are screaming for your life trying to escape imminent death. Also, he can summon bugs during this, by the way. Just as, Just to really rub salt in the wound there, he can just spam curse bugs and immobilize you while the Eyeball of Death eventually just spawns in and hits you anyways. Next up is the XL, which, like all super bosses, is now always the fast startup active flow version. The base damage of the XL has been raised by 50%, and the minimum damage has been set to 40 from 10%, along with leaving the opponent on the final hit poisoned for 9,999 frames and triple poison damage. Very similar to what I did with Hazuma's XL. Except also, on top of that, the Exceed XL for Arakune's case will max out the curse gauge and leave it maxed out after the final hit. Like so. And now on to all of the new distortions that he gets from his unlimited forms, or whatever else I might have added, but in this case it's just unlimited distortions. I may as well start with the most infamous of these unlimited supers that he gained starting in Continuum Shift. That being 236, 236A, Pi to N, or otherwise known as... the Bug Bag! This atrocious attack has Arakune throw out, well, a bag of bugs, and if the opponent hits the bag of bugs, the Bug Bag will explode and... yeah... I based this off the Continuum Shift version where the bugs that spawn from the bag after you hit it are instant death if they touch you. And that's not even where it ends because I did my own little modifications in that, in case you're familiar, normally the bugs follow Arakune around when they come out of the bag, but as you can probably see, they ran at Rachel and mauled her, and she died. Yeah.
What's the matter?
He still can't open the bag himself, so that's good. The opponent has to do it. Yeah. Although, as, this is an intentional buff that I gave him, but something I should also note. Normally you can only have, back in, like, Chrono Phantasma and Continuum Shift, you can only have one bug bag out. Well, you can have more than one in this case, or I guess if you really have the meter for it, in training mode.
What's the matter?
You can do that, I guess. Well, after that very awkward display, which is the same thing that could be said about the rest of this video, probably, the next distortion to go over is 632146C, or Square Root of F, which is the, giant swim rush move here. This will now do more this now does more damage than the original Continuum Shift Unlimited version, and is now armored for the entire time he is giant until he stops his rush, as well as dealing way more chip damage on block. Or, what the fuck? Why did it guard break? Oh, the sea bug. That's why. I'm stupid. There we go. Much more chip damage on block than normal. In a very similar move, more or less, we have J236236C, n divided by 0, in which Arakune will sit up in the air before rushing at the opponent with his J6C animation. Normally this move does 3,000 damage and only hits once, but now, my version, much more resembling the move this is based off, which is Zato/Eddie's Executor super from Guilty Gear, Arakune's version will now multi-hit like theirs. I had to drop the base damage to compensate for this, but it will deal now more overall damage than the base 3,000. It will do about 4,200, I believe. Yeah, the multi-hits will stack up to deal more than 4,000, which is obviously a higher increase than the base 3,000 you normally get. In addition, if you cross up the opponent before using this move, Arakune will turn around to face them, which allows him to go into it from very oddly connecting, dives, like so, among other bizarre scenarios. Not that it's much of a big deal, but this super can also fatal counter. And the final distortion to go over before we jump into Overdrive changes, and hopefully the end of this video very soon, is 214, 214D, G of F, in which Arakune will perform a 5D, and if it connects, the opponent is promptly swarmed by a horde of bees! The only thing I really did to this move out of the ordinary was actually just give it 25% minimum damage, so it scales decently in combos. And now with all that out of the way and a quick BGM change to Thin Red Line, we can get into the real diabolical shit that is Crimson Calamity Arakune's Overdrive. And oh boy, this is probably one of the most psychotic overdrives I have done to date. Even though I had to nerf it a little bit from what I originally wanted to do. But in any case, let's crank that overdrive timer on infinite and pop this motherfucker. So, for starters, during overdrive, our boy Roy will drag your sorry ass into the boundary by having the stage fade into his epic astral background there, which is just a cosmetic change, but I thought it would be really fucking cool to have him able to do this, so there you go. And additionally, upon activating Overdrive, the curse gauge, no matter how full it is automatically maxed out and will activate as normal. Originally, this mod was meant to have infinite curse for the entire duration of his Overdrive, but as you could probably expect between that and extended duration Green Cloud and the centipedes, yeah, that wasn't gonna fucking fly. So now it just gives you a full curse meter at any point in time. To do with as you please. In addition to this, all bugs, curse bugs or even his drive bugs of JD, 2D, and 6D, all bugs are now 25% bigger, deal 50% more damage, have +1 to their attack levels yet again, are projectile level 2, and have the Bro Inspirations raised from 110 to 120, upscaling combo damage even more. This results in really weird, random bug spam fuckery, racking up obnoxious amounts of damage for no reason whatsoever. Oh, we're just getting started! In Overdrive, his 5B can now hit up to 8 times. This is the same amount of active frames the attack has in total. Which, of course, can stack up with the feed bug that you turn the hit off of very easily. JB has even more upward carry, allowing stuff like launch JB all 13 hits, jump JB all 13 hits, and 5C on landing to work. And yes, it is disgusting. 6CCC, now instead of being just distortion cancelable, is now also special cancelable into 236C on hit or block. Racking up decent damage off of that combo ender that you normally need a super to go into off of, but not anymore. 2C gets the ability to just cancel on block instead of just on hit. Simple as that. 3C and 1C gain new cancel options into 6C, 5D, or 6D on hit or block. Stuff like that is possible. Or stuff like that. 2D bugs, instead of knocking down, will now pop up like the JD bug does. Which basically combos into the debug falling from above for 3k off of just one move, essentially. J236C, or Aerial Y2- goes into normal fall state recovery. But uses up an air action to prevent dumb infinites in a way, although if you jump up high enough, you can actually spam it. You will just slowly lose your jump so you can't air stall infinitely with it. All the hits on this are now also attack level 5. Grounded Y2- or 236C doesn't bounce off the opponent on contact anymore. Instead, it will cause Arakune to continue barreling forward, racking up hits with huge quarter carry. Similar to the air version, all the attacks on this move are now level 5. In addition, it can now cancel into the air version on hit. Which is very helpful in the fucking... Damn it. There we go, like so. And on landing, grounded Y2 Dash can cancel into grounded Distortions, Exceed Excel, or Astral. Mainly useful in the corner to go into Epic from the center. 2-2C Spiders in Overdrive have their poison damage and duration raised by 50%. So, more damage, longer poison for overall a very nasty combination there. Similarly to the Spiders, negating P in Overdrive will now poison the opponent on hit. With the exact same poison the Overdrive Spiders have as well. And lastly, we get to talk about Overdrive Distortions along with another little bonus that he has on him. Once again, we'll be beginning with F Inverse. F Inverse has its movement speed increased in Overdrive and deals 50% more damage. The opponent also ground bounces on landing to make other follow-ups easier afterwards. You can kind of more easily react to what side they're on if you're not slow like I was right there. The portal Bees summons an Overdrive will actually move along the ground with the opponent if they try to run away from it, which means if they try to run from the initial spawn, they might still get caught in it. The Paration 1 on the Bees is now 120 in Overdrive, and the Paration 2 value is up to 70, with the attack levels going from 2 to 3 on the actual bee hits themselves. Making this another very evil starter that he has. Well, we can actually convert off of it if you're close enough. F equals in Overdrive will now spawn in a second and slightly higher delayed Centipede. If you already have a Centipede active, it will only spawn the additional one. The Centipedes summoned by the Overdrive version here get all the same buffs that the Curse Bugs do, being bigger with more damage and attack time. As well as also having 5% more chip and minimum damage than normal, so that's 15% minimum damage on Overdrive Centipedes and more chip damage. Bug Bag in Overdrive, and only in Overdrive. If you hit Arakune, the bag will no longer disappear, which means if you hit him and the bag at the same time, you still die. Because that's fun. Square root of F will now charge forward faster and farther, while dealing even more chip damage than before with a harder knockdown. And will now have an additional final giant 60cc hit at the end with its own 50% minimum damage. That you can combo off of. Here's the full damage of the move raw. N divided by 0 on hit launches higher on the final hit, has a longer super flash, and Arakune will warp near the opponent before attacking. And along with the higher launch, rather than warping him full screen when he teleports afterwards, he will warp immediately next to the opponent to finish up and deliver more punishment to them. The block stun on this move has also been increased, so in case they block the teleport, he will still be safe afterwards. Because of course he will be. And lastly, the base damage of the Overdrive version of this attack has been raised to 1500 from 1000, allowing it to do more damage. And the last and probably my favorite distortion to talk about, courtesy of suggestions from John Brown and Julian Guerrero, is G of F. 214-214D in Overdrive becomes unblockable, and upon hit, the opponent will be knocked back into, well, a completely different attack than normal. This attack is a neat little mix of Under Night Inbirth Byakuya's Infinite Worth attack and Shumagorath's from Marvel vs. Capcom's Chaos Dimension Level 3 attack, hence it being unblockable. Unlike the normal version of the attack, however, you cannot continue your combo after this move. This is exclusively a combo-ending distortion, and a very, very high damaging one at that, considering you just watched it do 10,200 damage raw. But, yeah, this is basically your Overdrive combo ender if you have meter. And don't want to burn your Overdrive on Exceed Cell anyways. Okay, and now one final move that we have to talk about, because of all of these tools that he already has, along with 2 astrals, an unblockable curse cloud, and these disgusting other attacks, I have opted to provide Roy with one last deadly tool of destruction, and that tool in question being an instant kill, which I will now show you here. The instant kill costs and must be used in Overdrive and costs 100 heat, with a secret command, of course, as per usual. Upon using the instant kill, you forfeit the rest of your Overdrive as well as the entirety of your curse bar. And I will note that this long-ass startup that it has is completely vulnerable, which means that you have to be very careful when you try to pop this on people, because they can easily, with no curse bugs to defend you. Or rather, I think the trick here, actually, is you Overdrive, you spam a bunch of curse bugs, and then you use it. I will note that the spiders that rain down during this are completely unblockable, so, yeah, don't get caught. Simple as that. And with all that out of the way, this concludes the Crimson Calamity Arakune showcase video. Holy shit, my throat hurts. That was so much talking. To all you people that wanted me to stick to this format, I hope you're happy. I'd like to take this opportunity now that after 5 months of long work, I am very pleased with how he has turned out. For the second winner of the Community Super Boss poll, this man's a masterpiece by my standards. I'll be honest. I'm very happy with how he turned out. I'm happy everyone's very enthusiastic for him the entire time he was being made, and the entire time he's won the vote and been starting development. Well, he is here for you all now, and you can download him in the description below, along with any other Super Boss mods you may not have yet. I don't really know how else to end this video. I just want it to be over by now so I can rest my vocal cords because they are screaming at me to stop. So, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to catch you in all future uploads. And I will see you later.